September 16th, God's payday. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 23. May the Lord repay every man for his righteousness and his faithfulness, for the Lord delivered you into my hand today. But I would not stretch out my hand against the Lord's anointed. After serving for 40 years on the African mission field, Henry Morrison returned home by boat. On that same boat, returning from one of his big game hunts in Africa, was Theodore Roosevelt. Upon docking in New York, President Roosevelt received a great fanfare. Bands were playing, crowds were excitedly trying to get a glimpse of the famous president, and reporters were there to take down his every word. No one, however, was there to meet Henry Morrison and his wife. As he left the docks, he felt quite dejected. After all, Morrison thought, I should get some recognition for 40 years in the Lord's service. It was then that his wife reminded him, But Henry, you're not home yet. David knew that God someday will repay every man for his righteousness and his faithfulness. The realization prevented David from slaying Saul when he had the chance. He could have taken advantage of Saul's helplessness, but instead he did what was right. David chose the way of righteousness and faithfulness. You can be sure that God is no man's debtor. When we walk in righteousness and faithfulness, we can be sure that God will repay. It may happen on earth, but most certainly our greatest rewards will be when we get to heaven. If we seek to do what is right in God's sight and to serve Him faithfully wherever He calls us, we can safely leave the rewards to Him. God will never disappoint us. If you are discouraged by a lack of recognition or appreciation, remember that God will repay your righteousness and faithfulness. Even if He waits until you get to heaven, you can be confident that someday will be payday. Remember, you aren't home yet. God will have a payday someday. Amen.